Okay, this is Gina Hyena and Spencer Cavins. This is the So Much to Say podcast.
No, that's not going to be the name.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the name.
So much to say, so much. It's a Dave Matthews fanboy podcast.
This is the So Damn Lucky podcast.
This is the Ethereal Donut Shop Magic podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Ethereal Magic Donut Shop.
Were you going to sing the rest of that?
So much to say, so much to say. So I know you got it.
I don't know the song.
You know So Much to Say by
I don't know So Much to Say.
By Dave Matthews Band.
I know So Damn Lucky because it's about a woman who died in a car accident.
Didn't you fuck to Dave Matthews? Wasn't that like...
I lost my virginity to the song Crash by Dave Matthews.
That's so romantic.
I know.
It's just so funny because I was thinking about this the other day because I was at my friend's pool and they were playing, there's like a group of dudes and they were playing fucking Jack Johnson. And I'm like, what a weird time in life when a guy would try to fuck you by playing like Flake by Jack Johnson.
By playing Reduce, Reuse, Recycle by Jack Johnson. He's just recycling condoms inside of you.
Yeah, it was just like a dude wearing like a polo and flip-flops, like trying to be, and I'm like, how did that happen? How did that turn into masculinity? And like, how did those guys get laid?
But you did it. You let him have sex to you to Jack Johnson.
You know what? I don't know if I've ever had sex. I would always hang out with those guys.
You've never had sex.
You know what?
I can't say that I ever have.
What is it?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I don't know what sex is.
Looks like we're going to have to talk about more about Dave Matthews. No, it is. I would always be friends with those guys because I worked at Abercrombie for 4 years.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Right. This is back when an Italian could work in the mall.
Yes, absolutely. They would let me work. And then I also worked in the bank, which was very sketchy. But Abercrombie, did you see the documentary on it?
No.
Okay, so they made a documentary called White Hot.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to be like, Abercrombie was super racist.
Isn't it multiple parts?
Yeah.
Documentary. That's why I didn't watch it. Because I'm like,
it's unnecessary.
Give me 30 minutes. Give me a drunk history about Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah.
Like, I know what it is. I shop there.
Yeah, you're like, I've been there before.
I still shop there. I don't shop there now. But
no, it was the whole thing was like pretty much like they were like, it was racist and all this stuff because all the pictures were of white boys with their shirts off. And then it was like during that time, you really, for some reason, I don't know why we didn't recognize it, that the main person in charge was like a gay man. And he just loved the idea of like making straight white boys looking super gay. Because remember all the artists or like all the artistry in that store was like all like dudes in a locker room together, like looking at each other's like groins.
Right. Here's the thing about saying that Abercrombie's racist, though, is like, of course, all the models were white people. That's who it was for.
Yeah.
Like, no black kid wants to wear a shirt that says like 1987 rowing team.
It's not relatable.
Lincoln, Illinois. Like nobody wants to wear that. It's a very specific thing.
Yeah.
And even most white people don't want to wear that.
No, we just got like, I don't know how we got programmed into that. Was what part of the documentary was. It was like, how did they turn it into this big movement?
Dude, it smelled good.
Yeah,
it
because
smelled so good. It smelled like young sex.
Working there, you had to walk around with a giant bottle of cologne, and every hour you had to spray everything in the store.
Yeah, I was glad you did that.
Yeah,
so
it was
nice.
Fierce.
Actually, that was only your store because you smelled like garlic and marinara sauce.
You're
or
like,
Gina
we hired
spray.
one of them guineas. But no, the thing that was so crazy about that whole documentary, like, look at these first boys. You're like, how did we not know that the CEO was a gay man?
Wait a second. That's as diverse as they come. Look at that.
Yeah, right. No, it was funny because one of my managers was from Africa and he was a polyglot, which I hate that phrase because it makes me jealous and it just sounds snobby because I'm trash.
Yeah. Well, all of these guys just look like really sexy inmates. Like if you could, they're inmate. Like if you got sent to prison from being molested, that's who these people would be.
Yeah, like they just got out of juvie. And
these are like the treats that they bring in for the inmates. Like you used to get Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Or maybe you get like Jeff Ross to come and roast
Here's
you. This is
some tasty treats.
If you're really good, they just bring in these two boys.
Yeah, no, the whole thing was fucking wild, but they were like all upset because I do remember this. Like you couldn't paint your nails, you couldn't wear makeup, you had to wear the flip flops, and they had this whole thing. And I was like, I I remember working there. I told one of my friends, I was like, yo, I want to get real fat on purpose. Just to
That would have been
see.
cool. You would have been fired.
Yeah.
With cause, too.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, you can't be a fat girl
Yeah.
and work at Abercrombie. Which, look at the new Abercrombie advertising. It's crazy. It's a whole different.
Are they all disabled?
Yeah. They're all.
No, because that's the new thing. If you look at like
They got the chicken wing arm.
yeah, well, it's like you see some girl in a wheelchair wearing like Aeropostale, and it's like, I guess now I know what, I'll look like sitting down, but
Yeah, there's a couple like girl in the middle that would have never happened
Wait, is
when
that
I was
you?
in college. Yeah, that's me working at Abercrombie. that's my fupa from eating carbs. No, this whole thing was fucking wild. And I was like, dude, it wasn't that bad. Also, it was very cool for me. Like I was
working
like,
at Abercrombie. Yeah.
being like a little white girl working at Abercrombie worked out very well for me. We used to go downtown in Springfield, Mass, and there was a bar that just loved us being there, so they would just give us all free drinks. And I was like,
Wait, how old were you?
between the ages of 18 and like 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
So old enough to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a fake ID.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you get your first fake ID?
My first fake ID I was probably 18, and
What was the name?
I'd got Jamie. His name was Jamie, but also I'd got it at a heroin dealer's house, and I just found it on the floor and grabbed it. So I was always afraid to show it, and I showed it to cops once to get out of a jam. But I'm like,
what was the jam?
It was just a house party, and they were door checking, and everyone was getting in trouble. But I was like, I'm gonna give him this because I have warrants, or his warrants worse than mine. Like that was the big gamble.
Shit.
Like, is he wanted for rape? And I'm just wanted for a minor in possession, because I'll just take that. Like,
Yeah, because where you found it is very.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you presented somebody's fake ID to a cop and ended up getting into this like mistaken identity?
He
where
was
they're
the guy
like, you're wanted for
trafficking.
the rape and murder of 3 women in Tulsa County. You're like, oh, no, it's a fake ID. They're like, sure, it is Jamie.
You're like, we know you, Jamie. You're the guy trafficking boys into the prison.
I'm like, no, it's not.
No,
it's not me.
That would be awful. God, I can't even. Yeah, I can't imagine that.
Isn't that
Mine
like
was,
your worst fear?
What,
is getting in trouble for something you didn't do?
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of movies based on that, right?
Like Epstein's Island, yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy was completely didn't do shit.
And then he definitely killed himself.
100%. I know there's a real mental health crisis in this.
And that month's over.
Yeah.
Now we're back to there.
I mean, this guy killing himself when he had so much going for him. It's
I love
upsetting.
that he built a mosque to fuck the kids in.
It's insane. Have you ever seen those? They're like the conspiracy theories that they're like the Disney colors look like that mosque. Because, Disney at the beginning shows that castle and it's like the white and blue. And they're like,
well, this is what castles look like.
Can't you tell that this is the same thing?
Also, I mean, who would be surprised?
That
at this
Disney,
point, who's surprised about anything? Like, if you told me that Walt Disney was fucking kids, I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course he was.
Why else would he get so good at, like, drawing an enchanting little mouse? It's like, the lore... He literally made like a whole playground for kids to come.
He stole the imaginations out of those kids.
You go to Disneyland right away, there's a place like drop your kids off here. It's like,
Yeah. My friend actually went to Disney jail. There's a Disney jail.
Yes.
Yeah, she I think she like threw a milkshake at another girl because she was kind of a bitch, and they put her in Disney jail for the whole day, which is crazy to think about, that you just like locked up a kid underneath the park.
Yeah. Also, like, I wonder, like, how bad is it down there?
Yeah, what's going on in Disney jail? What are they sucking out of you?
Are you in like a holding cell, or is it always solitary?
Ooh, I don't know.
That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, and then just kids.
Like, is she just going crazy? She's lost her mind. She's like carving tallies into the wall. But it's just the second she's been in here. It's 15 seconds with like the strike through it.
I've been in here so long.
She's got a poster of Daffy Duck that she keeps chipping away at the wall behind. A little hammer inside of a Bible.
Disney jail, fucked up. Have you gone to Disney World?
I have. Yeah, I went kind of like recently.
Weird. Yeah. When did you go?
I went a few years ago. I went with my sister and her boyfriend and a girl.
Weird.
She was visiting from Mexico. And so she really wanted to go. They don't have that kind of stuff.
They just have sweatshops. They don't have
electricity. So
they're
pretty excited.
They're like, I recognize these characters. I used to create these stuffed animals.
Yeah. Well, I think it was fun. Yeah, I think it was fun for her to just hear all of like the fun, loud noises and the bells going off, and it wasn't, because
working
of a cartel shooting. Yeah. Yeah. So she was pretty.
She got to go on a roller coaster, and
it's a bad place.
What, Mexico or Disney World?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same thing.
I was talking about Disney World, but
it is a bad place.
I'm just kidding. I like Mexico, Josh.
I was born here.
Right?
I know. But,
he was like, God damn, I'm right here.
You were born here, but you lived in San Antonio.
Actually, lived on a border town, but yeah.
I feel like we should put these on because I feel like we're talking over each other.
Are we?
No, you guys are good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I might be paranoid. I'm delusional from not sleeping all night. Disney World. Isn't it weird when people are very into Disney?
Okay. It's one of the things that I hate most is like an adult who's really into Disney World.
Yeah.
But I think like the next level behind that is when it's a couple that's really into Disney World.
Ooh, weird.
And the guy proposes
at Disney World
to his future wife.
Yes,
in
his
front
child
of like
bride.
just 57,000 8-year-olds.
Yeah. That's
and
weird.
He should go to Disney jail.
Yeah, he should 100% be.
And then there's also like, listen, you propose to your wife in front of a big enchanting castle, and there's a bunch of 8-year-olds around you. And then 10 years later, she cheats on you with some guy in the finance department of her work. And you're like so surprised, and you ought not be.
Yeah.
You ought not be.
Yeah, because you were a child that proposed in front of children.
You own Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah, that's
like you can't be
creepy.
shocked that you've been cuckolded.
Yeah,
wearing a Daffy Duck.
There's a whole like adult Disney owns. If you could look it up, there's a whole place where you can live that's owned by Disney. It has its own zip code. It's right next to there, and they own
Florida,
like homes. Yeah, they own homes. Like you can live there like as an adult. I forget what the hell it's called, but I'm like, who would want to live there? And I was talking to two of my friends about this, and they were like, oh my god, it would be great. Like they were so excited about it. There's like a whole bus. If you put Disney living houses in Florida,
Disney living houses in Florida,
Disney Celebration Village, so you can live in Celebration, and it's like a whole like gated community owned by Disney, and they're all different styles of homes that it's like a whole different neighborhood. Some are like, look how big that house is. That looks like a plantation.
Yeah, it really does. But what does this have to do with Disney?
They own this. Disney owns
it's not like
Celebration.
Disney themed, so it's just homes
it's just
that are owned
for
by
people that
Disney?
want to be adults and like have a direct access to Disney and want to live like that whole life. Wow. Isn't that scary?
Wow.
Look.
I mean, are they expensive?
Yeah, some are very expensive.
I guess so, because so is Disney World.
Which is terrifying. Like, and two of my friends that are like my friends in real life, like not comics, just fucking friends. I was talking to them about this, and they were like, "Yeah, Celebration Village is like beautiful," and I was like, "Oh, you're like full and bought in on this. God. Like, you're not freaked out by it at all."
You know what? That is one neighborhood though where nobody's ever worried that a black family just moved in next door.
Yeah.
Like I can imagine every person that lives on that street.
You think they're all just like white?
So fat. They're all so fat.
They're definitely all fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely all fat, and they're probably not watching their children, or they're probably like that weird inappropriate.
Children, they don't have children. They're just living. It's just a fat couple from Ohio that did okay in fracking.
Yeah.
And immediately bought a 4-bedroom. The other 3 bedrooms aren't for the kids. They're for the toys.
Yeah.
That they collect. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy. Anybody collecting toys is a big old.
And Abercrombie's the problem.
Yeah, right.
For selling a
Bring
cologne
Abercrombie back. Bring back my old Abercrombie.
You know what? They sold a cologne called Fierce.
Yeah. And we really need that again.
I used to spray it on my balls in the 7th grade.
Like a man.
You would spray cologne on you. Did you ever do this, Josh? When you were younger, like spray cologne on your balls?
After the first time, no.
Yeah. But you think, I'm like, oh, she'll dig this. Which, by the way, I
I just picture a skunk, like their little glands. Like there must be so much exuding off of that.
But also, I was 12 and we're just going bowling. Like I'm not.
You're like, something wild's gonna happen.
Her parents are there, and I'm spraying Abercrombie Fierce on my balls.
On your dick,
and am not even good at bowling.
Right. You got the bumpers up.
Yeah, exactly. Her mom's beating me at bowling, and I'm like, she's definitely gonna
do something. I don't even know what it is, but she's gonna do something. I remember when I was younger, I had do you see where you would put like the soda tabs on your shoelaces?
Yeah, I've seen it.
And I didn't realize that. Like, I remember one girl came up to me in like middle school and she was like, I doubt you fucked that many people. Because it was supposed to mean like you
that's
fucked
what that meant?
so many people. And I was like, and in my head, I was like, I've said fuck you to that many people.
Oh, you thought that was, I've said fuck you. Also, like, even that was a lie.
Yeah,
like, what, under your breath?
Yeah, I'm like, I've totally said the F word to so many people that I can put these soda tabs on my shoelaces, which is insane.
That's so funny. I love all of those things where it's like, this means like the earring on the right ear. I don't know that exclusively means you're gay, or like the teardrop.
Yeah,
is always they're like, oh, it's
he killed somebody in prison.
Someone's like, or he's just really sad.
Yeah, he's just a sad clown.
He's so sad.
He's big into clown culture.
Yeah. Well, and then other people will they'll get the teardrop tattoo because it looks badass.
Yeah.
And then I've heard them explain it like in like a prison documentary. They're like, yeah, this is like when my wife and my daughter died. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like
unless you killed them
different.
and that's why you're here. That's not. That's
you
not
killed
how
your
it
wife and
works.
child in prison. No, it is strange when somebody does that. I've heard the spider web in the elbow means something too. Will you look up what that means? It's like a spider web in your elbow means you did something or other. But then there's always
He lived in San Antonio. Probably already knows. What does it mean, Josh?
I was told before, but I forgot.
Oh, it's a white supremacy thing.
It'd be funny if that also just meant you're gay. Everything just means you're gay.
What if you're a big Spider-Man fan and you get that? Probably just also a white supremacist if you're a big Spider-Man fan.
Move to Celebration Village.
Right.
That's the other thing is Disney kind of took over with
Marvel.
Because now they bought Marvel and they own ESPN. So now we're all Disney fans.
Everything's just propaganda.
Yeah. You're wearing a Disney hat, pretty much.
Yeah.
Spurs hat.
Is Disney?
They own ESPN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now if you're a sports fan, if you're a comic book nerd, everybody, we're all just sucking at the rat teat.
Yes, you
the
are.
Mickey Mouse rat teat.
Rat milk all on your lips. That gross rat milk.
Dude, disgusting little rat milk.
It's so gross. No, that's what anybody that's super into Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, huge red flag. Huge red flag. There's so many guys that are like, yeah, well, I identify with like Peter Parker or some shit. And you're like, shut the fuck up.
Well,
like, you're not Venom.
Of
like,
course they do. This is every anime too. That's why like anime is so big in Asia because they're all scrawny. It's always some dorky kid who's kind of getting picked on with his face down in the books.
Yep.
Who then, without ever having to like do a single push-up, just becomes super jacked and dangerous
badass.
overnight.
Yeah.
But is still like a nerd. It's everybody's favorite thing.
It's the lack of fathers, dude.
Yeah. You know what?
It's the lack
of fathers. Yeah, One Punch Man. Perfect. I do like one. That's just like,
who's One Punch Man?
dude, he's all right. You know
the
show Caillou?
No.
All right, so Caillou got bit by a...
Okay, I thought Caillou was like a little boy.
He is, but he looks like Caillou.
Yeah, he does. Oh, okay. So you were making a funny, and I literally thought you were.
No, that's okay though. It's Caillou if the leukemia wasn't terminal, and he had a chance to get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger.
He just looks like a white supremacist. He looks like
he does. He looks like he'd have a spider web tattoo on his elbow.
Oh dear! And they made a live action, huh? Huh? Yeah, it's every nerd being like, oh, and I'm like, bro, just get a job. Like, just stop trying to like hoe around and it's always with like gross pig girls, and you think it's like something cool. Yeah. You're like, bro, just get a job. I'm so fucking old school. I realize, and it's so bad because I'm like, oh, why don't men just have jobs and want to provide for their family and like not have their women work? And then I realized that I give off a lot of masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
which is probably also why we're doing a
Yeah.
podcast.
All of your
I don't-
boyfriends are gay.
Yeah, right? For real.
But you like, Gina, you're gay.
Right? I always overshoot it because I'm like, oh, I need like a masculine dude. And then I always overshoot it. And then he just like hits me and like we like square
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Well, that's because you hit back. Yeah. It's just a brawl at that point. It's just a bedroom brawl.
Yeah, I'm like, how come? I'm like, and I realized it recently. It's like something I'm working on. I'm like, oh, I need to give off more of a feminine energy. And
Yeah.
now I'm wearing like fucking bike shorts and a big Allison jeans
Yeah.
sweatshirt. I'm trying, man.
Remember when I think it was the first time I went over to your place and I found like a big leather, like it was a
The
device
bondage?
for, yeah, it was a device for you to be hogtied.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're making that up. That's crazy.
No, that's very real.
That's such a crazy
Yeah.
bit you're doing.
Yeah.
No, it's so weird because I had that because I used to want somebody to do that to me. And now, like, I've realized I've gotten to this point where I'm like, that guy's probably got a lot of issues if he wants to hogtie me.
Yeah.
That guy's probably not a good person deep down if he wants to hogtie me and fuck me.
That's true.
That's probably not
That
my
is true,
husband.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably something
That
going
is-
on there. That's why I tell my friends that are like into getting choked. I'm like, someone shouldn't get hard choking you.
Yeah.
That's-
Well, sometimes it's just nice to just shut you up.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know.
that's why.
But did you buy that bondage set from your? Did you get that with your Abercrombie and Fitch employee discount?
No,
Or-
more of those should probably happen. That's only for the boys.
Yeah, that's
not
in
for
the men's
ladies.
section.
Yeah, no,
And people have a problem with it.
it's
I can't
insane
believe
to
it.
me. It's
That would
insane.
actually what a turnaround for Abercrombie and Fitch if they started making bondage stuff.
Probably. I mean, you know what? I wouldn't put it past them at this point.
Is bondage stuff is expensive, right?
Yes.
Like how much was that? Because there's just some straps.
Oh, it's probably between 60 and 100, depending. It wasn't because it wasn't. There's some like really nice ones you can get, and there's also like really nice whips you can get. There's like really nice stuff that you can get. I just want to note for the record that I am celibate currently, so don't think that this is a cool thing to DM me about.
Yeah. But you know, just real quick in case anyone like you enjoy the DMs.
I really like when people give me notes on jokes. Like, tell me a joke I should tell. That's my favorite.
Well, it's cool because you're a female comedian, but to any like men listening, it's like they know that just as some guy,
yeah.
they probably have a lot they could teach you, and I think that'd be right.
You know about comedy, it's mostly like they're like you should mention your pussy more. Like I had a guy give me notes that he was like, "What if you said I like to get fucked like this?" And I was like, "Oh, you want to get fucked like
I've
that?"
been saying that for. Why don't you say that more?
Yeah,
Is
like
that,
why
I want to
not?
get fucked like this.
You know, it's like
that's
one of the
hilarious.
funniest bits you could come up
Yeah.
with. No, I think it is funny that, I mean, it's funny that I'm a chick in comedy that really wants to meet an old school guy because what I'm doing is very not feminine. It's like I'm digging myself a hole, and it's like it's silly to look back at old female comedians. I've never watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, but I can imagine what the fuck it is. But like back in the
All
day,
she talked about was her pussy.
all she talked about was how she like getting fucked.
She was like,
Like
you ever
different-
seen a pussy boy?
Hey, I like to be hogtied like this.
Mine's furry. I hear some girls are shaving theirs.
I'm just a wacky lady.
What is this? The Jetsons? I don't. The Jetsons came out 50 years later.
That's actually the origin story of the Jetsons.
What is this? Disneyland? People
Yeah.
are shaving their pubic hair.
So there's all this stuff, and it's crazy because I don't know. I give off this because I had abusive relationships and whatever the fuck. So now I give off this energy of like, you're not gonna fuck with me, and like I'm like
Yeah.
being my own protector subconsciously, which is I just need to get the fuck over it.
Right, you became Hulk Hogan. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the Hulk.
yeah. You look like the
Freaking-
Undertaker.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
have Undertaker hair.
Oh,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. You really do.
I do, but I relate more with Booker T.
Yeah,
I think we
and
all.
China.
I think we all relate more with overweight people of color. I think we need to do that more often now.
I relate to China.
China. That's me. That's my internal monologue. Where's he? Oh, he's from Houston.
Yeah, he also worked at Abercrombie.
Yeah, that was my manager that I said was a polyglot.
What is a polyglot?
It means you speak multiple languages. It's a very
Oh,
obnoxious
super.
way of saying I speak multiple languages.
Oh, I
which-
thought it was like an Italian racist way of saying like, oh, that guy's a
An old
fucking polyglot.
Yeah. It's
know.
jamoke.
He knows Spanish.
Right.
You guys would find a way to just like get angry that people would speak two
Right.
languages other than Italian and maybe some English.
Right? Like,
He's
just
a
like,
real
oh, what is this guy
polyglot.
speaking?
That
Listen.
sounds like a way that you would accuse like a cousin of being gay. Like,
Yeah.
he's a little
Oh, polyglot.
Let's just say he speaks
Speaking
French.
Yeah,
Let's just say
exactly.
he's a
French is always the
bit of
gay
a
one.
yeah, it's like,
Like, ugh, these losers.
or I just like art. Which
I can just read.
the line gets blurry.
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like if it's, I know I have this like internalized, my grandfather is like internalized and it's so bad. It's so bad
Yeah.
sometimes that I like catch myself and I'm like, oh, what a loser. Like a guy like reading fiction.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. It's something about the city too, that there's no like I said, like I like old school dudes, which doesn't happen here. The idea of an old school man in Texas is like a guy that does like two-stepping.
Yeah.
Has a gun. Like a guy that sticks his hands in his belt loops.
It's a different type of old school because their old school is just that they have a belt buckle. You know,
It's like a family.
I like it.
belt
Yeah,
buckle.
all the like dudes today are just like they fight for like family values and being
Yeah.
traditional. But what they really want is just like don't make fun of my belt buckle.
Yeah,
Is
just
all they really
respect it.
Yeah.
Old school Austin, dude. And that's what we got. This is where I moved to. And then I needed to dip.
need. That's who you bought $100 hog tying uniform for.
Right. Oh, so yeah. So because I give off this energy, I've gone on dates when I've tried to go on dates where it's like a guy in advertising. And I'm like, just don't date a guy that's into running a poker room. Like just date a guy with a job. So I tried to date this guy into advertising. Second date, he was like, I think you'd be really good at pegging me. My first reaction was like, yeah, I would be, which like is just insane. But also he was a guy that didn't squat. He just had like that flat. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I'm like, you want to get fucked in the ass, but you don't have an ass. Like just you picture like a Hank Hill butt. I'm like an advertising guy, and I'm like,
we're a dense in a little bit.
I'm like, and I like didn't even want to see it because I could tell without even his pants on. But I'm like, you can't be into getting pegged and not have an ass.
Yeah, that's true. Although that's every like very skinny girl that's just like fuck me from behind. It's like I don't want to.
You're like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah, and then they get on top, and it just feels like a cat's walking over your stomach or something. You know, it's like I know you're there, but it's not.
You're like, there's a lot of boniness happening.
It ain't bothering me. No.
Oh, I had a really skinny boyfriend. Was actually the first person I had sex with, and he had the hip bones that popped out.
Oh yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah. Where
Gross. You don't want
gets
that.
wide.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
you have like the in the front, like the jutting out, like that skinny where you see like out on like a skinny bitch. There's like the front of the hip bone. Oh yeah, like it was like fucking like a prisoner from like Schindler's List or something. It was so.
You guys did that though.
Yeah.
You guys did that by see all the problems that you're talking about. You guys are
Who's you guys?
women.
Oh.
You guys created this, young women, because all we do is adapt based on how we can fuck you. We're like that. Have you seen that movie? You know what we are? We're like the alien from the movie Aliens. You know how they're just super adaptive. They'll adapt to any environment so long as they can hunt their prey. I'm pretty sure that's their vibe.
Yeah.
That's what we do. So then we see that suddenly you guys like skinny vampire boys. We're like, okay, I'm going to not go outside and never work out.
Based on TV. See, it's all the TV ruining this. Yeah.
It's the TV.
Yeah. It's I blame other women also. Because other women are into fucking skinny dudes. That's not cool.
Yeah, but
You
I don't
shouldn't
even
do
think
that.
they are. I think they just liked
They have
the
to.
erotic vampire bug.
Okay, so the vampire thing, I think a lot of people miss out on like the vampire thing is because that guy's obsessed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're special.
Well, and he's dangerous.
Yeah.
He wants to kill you.
It's like
That's
the
the part we missed is like it wasn't about him being skinny and not being outside and like looking like an insomniac.
Yeah.
It's that you guys want somebody who wants to fucking kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like obsessed.
But
with
then
you.
I'm always threatening women,
And they don't like it?
and I'm like, well,
I
what
think
the
you're doing
hell?
it wrong. You can't threaten a woman and also wear a soccer jersey. It's
Oh,
like-
damn it!
yeah. You're
Why
doing
not?
that. Because you know
Why
what's-
can't I?
You know the thing with the jersey is that you know what grinds my gears about the jersey thing?
Mm.
It's like you're throwing in my face that I picked the wrong guy. Like
No,
you're
no.
Yes.
There's no name on this. I'm just representing a team. I would never wear a jersey that represents a player.
you're
Now
rep-
try to finish that.
You're
point.
representing a team that you're not on.
Yeah, but You're representing a band that you're not in.
Yeah, I know, but I'm a woman. I can do that. I can be a fan.
Why can't a man be a fan of something?
Because you could be the guy on the field.
But I don't play soccer.
I know, exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah. I do I do other things just as well as the Paris soccer team.
Like sell insurance.
Dude, I sell so much. You didn't hear the voicemail I left when I went out. It was actually I had to re-record it because I stumbled on my words. You know the worst.
What a G I was.
The worst is when you're leaving a voicemail for somebody and then you hit pound to re-record it, but whatever fucked up service they
don't have
they have
that.
like Metro PCS,
So they just
and
hear
then
you
it's
going
just like message sent, and you're like,
You're like,
No.
what was that?
yeah,
I've never worried about that lately. I use an app that goes directly to somebody's voicemail, so the phone doesn't ring.
that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best.
You know,
By the way, and I know we'll get into it, but one of the questions on that weird test you made me take
yes,
was just like, do you avoid talking on the phone?
and yours was yes.
Yeah, strongly agree.
So I made Spencer take his Myers-Briggs, which is a fancier thing than astrology. It's pretty much astrology for psychiatry majors.
Real quick, before we get into that, so you were talking about Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
She has a lot of, and you haven't seen the show. Have you seen it, Josh?
Yeah, I've seen all of it.
You've seen all of it? Do you like it?
Big fan.
I was at the beginning. Then it just became a 2-year comic who was complaining about not headlining.
not headlining stuff.
And it pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was like, you
Women.
entitled mother.
It's really cool though, because she does have a lot of like good bits where you can see like her, like she has a bunch of like great bits that just like, oh, like, do you know the difference between a Jew and a kike? And like a lot of stuff like that. That's really fun.
Really?
She's like, there's Jews and there's kikes.
Because she could get away with that.
And then
back in the
really,
day.
yeah, because that was like really, really big there. And then she's got another one about,
That's the joke you came away with
then-
out of all of them.
you don't remember that one?
I know, but there's a lot of them. And
Yeah.
that's the one you picked. You're like, this one sticks out to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you know what's funny? I've never seen the show. Does she really have it? Does she really have a Chris Rock bit about how there's Jews and there's kikes?
She's making fun of another comic doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
She's calling him a hack doing that.
Oh, shit.
that's so
Oh,
funny.
listen to you, and you came up with that, you hack.
Yeah, well, they're her words, not mine. These are her bits. She has another one about like abortion. And she's like, I've had like 9 already, and then, but it's like she does them herself, and then.
Oh my God, it's like I just do it myself.
Yeah.
Like this is how abortion is. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
I love how you can get an applause now by just mentioning that you've just obsessively gotten abortions.
Yeah, it's the whole I try not to use the word because I've realized that people stop listening during
At
certain
abortion.
words. So the word abortion itself seems pretty hack, or it makes people stop listening. Like they don't hear the end of the joke. That's why I
Yeah.
say my dad thinks I've never been pregnant instead of using the actual word.
Right.
But because I think the whole kiss my baby. I think that's just lame.
Yeah.
Like, what'd your baby do to you?
So what you could say is that you aborted that joke.
Yeah. Got it right out of here. D and C to that shit. That's what you call
Yeah.
it, dilation and cuterage.
It's a bad time to be a sperm. Great time to be a fetus.
Hey, yeah, they love y'all. Now you're the fetus.
Yeah, well
Hey, they love
I
you
don't
guys out
represent the
here.
fetus.
You represent all fetuses during this podcast.
It's a bad time to be a sperm because you guys we've amassed so much weaponry to defeat them.
They've just, they're fucked. They're fucked. All the seed oils and the food making the kid.
Well,
the sperm are all
that
fucked.
and then just you have like an IUD, which is just it's like by the way, it's the anniversary of D-Day, the D-Day invasion.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say IUDs.
No, but I feel like it's very much that. It's like our sperms are just on this little boat, and then the door opens.
Yeah, but
and you guys are just like.
Yeah, but you don't have sperm that are like the D-Day soldier sperm anymore. You guys have sperm the new Abercrombie models because of the food we eat. Oh yeah, that's what you would like to think.
My sperm has adapted. I actually just do one huge giant sperm.
That's gross. So you've seen it.
Oh yeah, it comes out it's thick. It's one thing, and then I have to stomp it out on the floor.
It's wearing a jersey.
Yeah, it's wearing a jersey. It has opinions.
Yeah.
It barks.
It sells insurance.
Yeah, it barks. It's always wiggling its little tail. And shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably got a lame bark because you drink like almond milk.
Well, what's upsetting is if I like come on the floor, for example, and then I walk away for a second, and then you lose it in the house, and it's like, well, now I'm gonna be worried about that forever.
That's what I saw the other day. There was just
somewhere.
There's just a snail trail.
Yeah. You can see
house.
it. I think it lives under the refrigerator and it's just eating breadcrumbs.
Yeah. Probably like gluten-free gay breadcrumbs. You know what it is? I need a guy that drinks whole milk.
Why is that?
Because I don't know, almond milk's kind of lame for a guy to drink.
Yeah, but whole milk is it's got a bunch of refined sugars, so then he's still a little sweetie.
Yeah, but it's all kind of like fat and like a bulky, like a Wisconsin man. Like I need a.
What about a guy who just drinks breast milk?
No, I've seen those guys are crazy. Wait,
what do you mean you've seen those guys?
You don't know like the guys that buy breast milk online because they're bodybuilders, and there's something in it.
That's
so
hilarious.
It's like because it helps like a baby grow. So there's like a black market for buying breast milk. So bodybuilders will buy it because they think it like helps them grow faster. Yeah, they're like super into it. Yeah. There's a lot of bodybuilders that are into.
So people are just like starving their kids of breast milk.
I mean, you just keep making that shit. Like until you stop like doing it. That's why like you could do it until your baby's like 3, 4, or that's why they have wet nurses. They just never stopped. Or those chicks that are on like Backpage.
So is that what happens with a wet nurse? Is that they have a kid, and then the kid gets too old and just starts like eating sandwiches and shit, but they're still making milk.
Yeah, for like the
and then they immediately go to the job market.
It's also like a very old school thing that you could do. Like you could like have a baby, but not be like I can't be bothered to do that, and like hire a wet nurse. Wow. Like you animal.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's like
that is crazy. That really does like show how fine the line is between us and just like a farm animal.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like you just become a cow at that point.
1,000%. Which also like there's like this weird way of, so it's like you could say that way of like, oh well I think we're all animals, right? But like you're like, oh, you hire somebody to raise your kid, right? Because you're like, that's like an elitist thing to do. Yeah. Like I got shit to do, so she does it, or like I can't be bothered. You carry my child. But I'm like, the way I think of it now, which is I feel like I got duped during the 90s, because the way I think of it now is like I'm like, actually, I would have loved to not have worked, and I would have loved to be like a stay-at-home mom. I'd prefer to raise my own children and like bond with them rather than hire somebody. And I feel like that.
You don't want your kids to have a Jamaican upbringing.
I don't want them to have a whole different person. Isn't it? I had my ex that was actually allegedly a pimp, had a nanny that was like Jamaican. He grew up on like the Upper West Side, and it's just like I'm like, what a overreaction to your parents' divorce that you became a pimp and a drug dealer. Like what because there's no reason for you to be. I'm like, you had a nanny. Yeah. By the Natural History Museum.
Yeah, but then he became a pimp because he still had a Jamaican mom.
Right? Like, that's, you know, that's the biggest issue. That's what's wrong with our society is like you make women work, you destroy the nuclear family. Now you got Jamaican nannies raising pimps.
Raised by Haitians in Celebration Village.
In Celebration Village. thinking they're going to be Spider-Man.
Did he dress like a pimp?
Oh, always wife beater and chain. Wife beater and chain. That was always like the move. Wife beater and chain, sweatpants or sweat shorts.
Yeah.
All the money in the world. Look like a street kid.
Yeah.
Just look like a street guy. Which is crazy because also, what age? I think you already know, but he was very young when he started this. Like when he
started pimping?
Yeah, because when I was dating him, and allegedly, like this is like the funniest bit I do, so imaginative. When I was dating him, he had a poker room, girls, sports book, going strong. Like hadn't worked in an office in years.
What's this guy's name again?
Shut up. What are you writing a book?
Will you pull up his Facebook? What's his first and last name?
What are you writing? A book? No, so it's crazy.
What was his name? Dylan the Claw.
It was actually Jamie. He used to hang out in heroin dens.
Jamie.
No, yeah, guess how old? Crazy.
When he started pimping.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. I'm trying to think back on my pimping. So I feel like the golden age was kind of like 06, 07, right before the crisis. That's when pimping was at its strongest. That's when Hustle and Flow had just come out. I'm going to guess that he was 15 and a half.
You're the worst. But he was only 30 and he was Jewish, which is crazy. Because every time I tell this story, like people, I think, imagine like a whole different, and I'm like, no, he was a Jewish kid.
Dylan the Claw Feinberg. That's what it, pull him up.
Yep. Dylan the Claw
By the way,
Feinberg.
the worst pimp, because just imagine haggling with him.
No, that was the most annoying thing about dating a Jewish guy that was a drug dealer was he saved all the money. Like, I didn't get anything cool.
Yeah.
I never got anything fucking cool from it. Like, and I would see like all the like hookers and shit would have like Chanel purses and stuff. And I was like, cool. I don't have like a cool bag. I think I got me like a Michael Kors for Christmas once. And I was like, really? Like, these bitches are walking around with Gucci. They're just like.
Well, you can't even go to him with like a return and be like, come on, man. I know. But like, listen, she wasn't what I expected. You told me she was going to be. She was kind of a bigger lady.
Right.
And I paid $100 for an hour, and her stomach started hurting in 15 minutes. Can I please, maybe at least just give me $50 back? I don't think it was worth it. And then your pimp boyfriend is a Jew. It's just like, how about store credit? Right. It's like, dude, come on, man.
Dude, not cool.
He's in there fiddling a Star of David medallion.
He's giving him a bag with shillings. Crazy story.
Yeah.
Tell me how, like, I think he got his dick sucked by a dude. And I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. So the very first transgender person I met, my ex would call gay Nick, but it was really a guy that with a wig on that identified as like Nicole. And he just didn't get it. He was like, fucking gay Nick. And so he starts buying, like, taking gay Nick out for wing nights and stuff like that. Like, they're like buddies. Like, gay Nick is our neighbor. And then at one point it was like Nicole, Nick, whatever, was always like, Ben, let me just suck your dick, like, whatever. And it was just like, no, dude, like, no, that's not cool. But also, like, would you give this person your number? Like, if a gay man hit on you really hard, would you give him your number?
So I would say no now, but I have.
You've given someone your number?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
The same way. It actually made me empathize with why women will give out their number to a guy.
You got really nervous?
Pressuring them. Not even that. It's just like, I'm just going to give you my number because it's the path of least resistance. And then if you call it, it's like, I'm not blowing you off, and then I'm just going to block you. But here's the thing.
I know it is. It's kind of scary sometimes.
It's to fuck. They position it like it's to hang. So then it's just like, I mean, we're both still going to be sitting here at this bar. If I say no, it's just massively uncomfortable. So it's like, let's exchange numbers. Let's text. I'm going to block you, and we're never going to hang out.
Got you.
So I did that to a guy once, and then he started emailing me. Like, he found my email online.
Through the number?
I guess so. Yeah, he must have. And he started emailing me and saying that I was stuck up for blocking his number, which I was like, you know what? Fair.
Sending it to your like AOL account.
The word is homophobic, but stuck, whatever.
No, so Nicole, one night, we're out, comes banging on the door at 4 a.m., crying, banging on the door, saying, I just want to cuddle. Freaking out. And I'm like, here's the issue. It's like, my ex used to get really drunk, like blacked out, and could still perform.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and would literally like be able to like have sex and then eat like a gyro, a whole plate of chicken fingers, and like a milkshake. And then the next morning be like, did we eat? And I'd be like, how do you not remember eating like 4 meals? And I'm like, and you definitely don't remember having sex. So I'm pretty sure gay Nick / Nicole sucked my ex's dick because way too attached to be crying and banging on the door saying, I want to cuddle.
Yeah.
And then 6 years later, my friend Terry's watching my dog, and my ex came to give her like weed. And he's like, oh, we'll go get a drink or whatever. And she looks at his phone because he's texting someone, and he texted a shirtless picture. And she was like, oh, okay. He was like, oh, no. It's this gay guy that like teases me and is like, I bet you don't still look like you used to. And he's like, so I just have to like send the picture.
I got to show up. For him.
Yeah, like I got to do it. Which I'm like, you got his dick sucked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He probably got his dick sucked.
Oh.
Which,
horrible to hear. Bad news for me.
If you have to think of like who, if we're looking at a chart of who's most likely to be the best at sucking dick.
Oh, of course.
It would be a trans female who before was identifying as a gay male.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Of course.
Josh, can you confirm that? Is that
Scientifically, yes, I believe that's accurate.
Can you confirm that?
Can you pull that up, Josh?
Jacinda,
Can you pull up are trans women who used to identify as gay males the best at sucking dick? Can you pull that up?
You know what sucks? So I had you take a Myers-Briggs, and you had me take.
Yeah.
Which practical joker are you?
Which impractical joker are you? Yeah.
Impractical. Damn, that's clever. Can you guess which? Good. Can you guess which one I am?
Which impractical joke? Well, let's start. Let's start.
Do you know I've never watched it before?
Oh, you're missing out. It's so good.
But I get it from the quiz. I understand what.
Yeah.
And just to tell you something, because this is very disappointing. Right. Kind of an impractical joker myself.
Yeah.
So, what I used to do in New York, me and Rex used to play on Craigslist. It's very fun because there's so many people in New York and there's a lot of crazy people. So we used to put up an ad in the lost and found. We'd be like, found a wallet. There's no ID in it. I just need to know whose this is. Please call me at this number, because we'd have like a Google Voice number, and you would get like 10 phone calls within like 10 minutes of posting it.
Yeah.
And you would just like be able to talk to the person so long. So you'd be like, oh, and like I found this. I was like, it's a purple wallet. That's like really weird. And the person would be like, oh my God, yeah, like my aunt loves purple, so she just bought me. And I'm like, there's a picture of Obama petting a one-eyed cat in here. And he's like, oh yeah, she loves Obama, and like all this. And you would be able to, you'd get them to like meet up sometimes, and it was like really fun to do. All that being said, I put up a found wallet thing for downtown Austin, and no one's responded to it. I'm really disappointed in it.
Because everyone's doing well.
Yeah, everyone's okay, and the people outside of like the ARC have access to computers. Like they're not checking Craigslist.
It's a few things. One, Craigslist is going down. Two, the people in Austin are like, they're seeing that and just being like, oh, well, like this certainly wasn't my wallet.
Well, I can also tell you that Craigslist certainly still works, because at one point, my other favorite one to do is free bicycles. So I'll just put up an ad, and this is a switcheroo one. So you do it to somebody that like you want to have an annoying day.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm getting rid of all these bicycles in my garage, and it's like
put someone else's number on it.
Yeah. And then like you can eventually call that number, and you're like, oh, I'm calling about that, and they're like, there's no bikes, and they like freak the fuck out because they've been getting phone calls. I did that recently for somebody in Austin like a month ago, and it like immediately 8 emails. They're like, is it a fixie bike? Is it a 10-speed? Because I was like, of course, that it's all hipsters. I think maybe just the drug addicts here aren't like hip enough to think about finding cash in a wallet.
It's a bunch of nerd. You need to post on like Neighborly, or like whatever weird mobile app people complain about the noise.
Which one of these folks do you think I am?
Which one of these? Okay, well, here's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing that Joe Gatto was still an option, but that quiz would not be up to date because he's recently left the Jokers. Which,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Joe. Well, he didn't leave this world, but he's on to bigger and better things. I'm gonna guess that you are a
dead air.
That's okay. We'll edit that out.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I want to say Sal Vulcano because you're. I
like his voice. I
was gonna say, but also because you're an Italian, and that's about it.
Yeah. I have a screenshot of.
You're a James Murr.
I'm Q.
You're Q.
Yeah.
Why did it say you're Q?
I'm trying to find that. What I have right now pulled up is a screenshot of the word baconator. It said I'm Q, Brian Q Quinn, because I'm not as loud as the rest of my group. I'm a rugged, regular guy with a quiet charm. And you don't overthink things. That's wrong. This quiz is made by idiots. Your attitude is laissez-faire. You know me. Real laid-back lady. Hold on.
Don't make fun of my quiz, or I'm going to make fun of your quiz.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know me. I'm very laid back. I'm not a stress case.
Yeah, and you don't overthink stuff.
At all.
I think that's great.
Not at all, no. Yeah. I'm like a very calming presence, I would like to say.
Do you remember what you said the punishment you would choose as?
What's that?
I don't know. I'm just curious. You had 4 options.
Oh, yes. Fuck. What were? It was turning down a proposal.
That was mine too.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
That'd
it'd be
so fun.
hilarious to turn
Nothing
down a
at
proposal.
stake. Even easier if you're at Disneyland.
Yep. Yeah, because the other ones were like, you're in prison or some shit like that. And I was like, I don't.
That was it. It's like have darts thrown at your eyes.
Yeah, it was like, I was
sleep
like,
with a snake.
yeah, I'm like, I have no problem
Go
turning down.
skydiving or turn down a fake proposal
And I was
at
like-
a baseball game. It's like, I'll
Yeah, no problem, dude. I'm going to guess you're Myers-Briggs.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Myers-Briggs test. I took it.
Yeah. How'd you feel? Like, did you read what you are after? Like, did it make you understand yourself?
I did read what I was.
Okay, don't tell me what it is.
I'm not gonna.
Okay. The first letter is I.
Yeah.
Cool. Is the second letter S?
Oh, I was kidding about the I. That's not true. Real quick before I took the Myers-Briggs. What is yours? What are you?
INFJ.
You're an INFJ.
Yes.
Okay. That's not what I am.
I know.
This is what I am.
I want to guess it.
Well, I'm just going to tell you. It says that I'm a G.
Fuck off.
Does that mean anything to you? It says I'm a G.
Just one letter?
Yeah, I'll read you what it says. So I took the Myers-Briggs. This is what it says. It says, you are a G. While others chase their tails, you chase the check. Cold hard cash is the name of your game, G. Nobody does it like you, and nobody fronts when a G's around. And then it's got, I don't know if you can see this, but my picture it's just SpongeBob as a gangster. Does this mean anything to you guys? I don't.
It means absolutely nothing to me.
An underwater thug. So yeah, that was my Myers-Briggs. What'd you say you were again?
INFJ.
Oh, okay.
I'm like
so yours is 4-letter. I was just G, whatever that
Did you really take it or no?
Yeah. I just showed. That's what I got. Did you not see?
God, this is why you're headlining in Temple.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
'Cause
Yeah. You love that like niche cringe humor.
Yeah. But anyway, whatever that means.
You have like a.
You took this. So which Impractical Joe? Oh yeah, you're Q.
Yeah,
you're
who are
Q
you?
And I'm a G.
Yeah, there we go.
That's crazy.
QG podcast.
I got Sal Vulcano.
Oh, I like his voice a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very calming voice. I have no face to put to that.
Again, though, it is incorrect because, again, we established I'm a G. And then when I took the which of True TV's Impractical Jokers are you, it says Sal Vulcano. Sal, here comes Mr. Sensitive. But I'm a G. I chase checks, it said.
Here comes Mr. Sensitive. That is true. I've seen you cry at movies so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
That was one of the Myers-Briggs questions, I think.
Do you cry at movies?
Oh, no, it's do you cry when you see other people cry? Okay, so I'm going to let you guess.
I
am a G.
I wonder how long this is going to go for. This is going to be the last half hour. It's just you. I watched Sesame Street on my birthday, and the letter of the day was G.
I thought that was wild. Is that a pretty common one?
SpongeBob?
The G?
Yes, you're. God. You remind me of, that song Original Prankster by Offspring?
Yeah.
That's like your whole vibe.
Yeah, original Impractical Joker. That's me.
Original Prank. Yeah.
Okay, so first letter is?
I. S?
No.
N?
Yeah.
F?
No.
T?
Mm.
Yeah, which makes sense that your N is with your T. And then this is the one that
I don't know any of these letters.
Yeah, I'll explain it all to you. And this is the one, I want to say you're a J, but that doesn't make sense because you're INT. I'd say INTP.
It says INT and then I was born with the G code embedded in my blood. That's what
I'm
it
glad
says.
that I know you worked on this last night or today. I know you really worked on this.
Just right before coming here,
Yeah.
I took the test and I thought,
I thought, I know letters. What could be a
so you
funny
got
letter joke?
INT and then what? What was the next
I
one?
would say P. You're not an INTJ. Yeah.
PP.
Yeah. So this
But then I got a dash and then another.
There's
one.
like an A or something else.
Or a G. No, it's an A.
Maybe it's a
an
G.
It's an A.
Yeah. So
INTPA.
Yeah. INT.
So
here's how that works. So I means you're introverted. It means you get more energy from being alone.
Oh yeah, I got infographics with every one of my letters.
Yeah. Well, I want to just tell you how much I know about Myers-Briggs. The N though, so this is the N and the S thing threw me off. Because N means like you have these ideas, but you don't like put them into an outline. You don't get like a deadline. You're not like, hey, it's gonna get done. Like this is like an outline of all these things, whatever. But as soon as you said T, which I understand why you're a T, is because that's where I have an F.
Wow, me and Albert Einstein and Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson are all the same.
Bill Gates,
Elliot Page.
You, ooh, is that? Are we still calling it? Oh, Elliot Page is the correct.
Elliot Page.
Yeah. Epstein, Weinstein.
Louis Theroux.
Tracy Morgan.
They started running out of famous people because then it's just Troyan Belisario.
So as soon as you
actor
said
in spaghetti westerns,
as soon as you said T, so I had a feeling that I didn't know if your S or your T was going to be there because you're not as feely as a person as I am.
I didn't realize Elliot Page was an INTP. I thought she was an LGBT.
Definitely. We have so many letter jokes going on right now. But anyways, INT, it just means where the T is, you're more technical, where I'm more feely. Like I'm a very feely person. Like I'm like pie in the sky. Like that's why I'm so curious about all this stupid shit. And you're more technical. You're more like just give me the logical.
Military strategist type, yeah.
Yeah. But I knew you weren't a J because INTJs are people like Elon Musk and like Lex Friedman and like like probably Hans Kim. Right. They're all very like almost autistic. Robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just say they have autism.
They're neurodivergent.
Yeah. How do you know so much about this? When did you start getting into being annoying?
I think it's because believe it or not, nobody really listened to me a lot as a kid.
No way. That makes sense why you just started picking up a microphone.
Yeah.
Just like
100%. I'm like, now I'm like, I'm going to express myself as much as I can because when I was younger, I was very quiet. And then when I did like speak up and stuff like that, it was like, you don't say that kind of stuff. And it was like somebody would be in the room, like one of my parents or something, they'd be like, oh, Gina feels like this. Like they would tell people how I felt or like what I'm doing. So I think like it makes me very much into, it's actually a kind of nice thing. I like understanding.
Gina's feeling cathartic right now.
No, I think it's kind of a nice thing that I try to understand what makes people work and like the way their mind works because nobody ever listened to the way mine did.
I like that. All right. So can I tell you some of my problems with this test without really knowing too much? I'm not saying I agree or disagree.
Yeah.
So my personality type is logician. And then the first thing it says is logicians are innovative inventors with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. Neither of those are true. I wouldn't, my knowledge, my
barrels and amps is pretty innovative.
My quest for knowledge is super quenchable. It's very quenchable. And then like the picture is of some nerd like looking into a robot to see how it works. I've never been one of those people. You always hear about smart people where it's like, oh, just like ever since he was a boy, Elon Musk was taking apart the vacuum to see. I've never given a fuck how anything works. And then all the pictures are just like of a nerd like looking at a butterfly on his hand. I'm just not as curious as this thing is making me out to be. But so here's my problem with the test is that there was so many of the questions.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg, baby.
Yeah. Held out.
I know you love that Ulysses S. Grant.
Oh, shit, dude. That's my guy. Yeah. Wow.
And Stephen Hawking. You're a little mix of, you're pretty Grant and Hawking.
No, this is yours.
Oh, shit. No, it's not. I'm INFJ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Also, if I want to be really
J.K. Rowling, Oprah Winfrey, Princess Diana. Very, very feminine.
Very soft inside. I'm a big softy inside. And my
But like a lot of the questions that they asked were like, I looked at it and I'm like, I mean, I will slightly lean this way, but truly I never give a fuck. Like some of them were things like, if you're in a social, setting, how likely are you to go and talk to other people? And it's like,
you're like, we kind of get out of it.
Well, I was like, yeah, I agree. I will do that, but not because I like to, but because I'm polite. Like, you know what I mean? There's certain nuances where I'm like, is that taken into account? It's like, yeah, I will do that, but it's more out of social obligation. A lot of the things were like, yeah, I'm going to do that, but it's purely out of social obligation.
Yeah.
I didn't have to, I wouldn't.
The fact that you have the idea or the mind frame of even thinking of social obligation is part of it. because somebody who is like an INTJ doesn't do that because they don't even think in terms of social obligation.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I was thinking the other day, I thought I broke my brain.
Wait, but you're literally all of your people have like built careers on social obligation.
Oh, yeah. I'm a very feely person. Mine's like an advocate personality. Like I like doing stuff for other people. I like seeing other people like win. I'm very, very curious.
You have a very black lineup.
Yeah, because usually they have a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
So they start getting very empathetic. No, I'm like
Gandhi.
I'm empathetic to a fucking fault inside. And my little persons, to give an idea, which is funny to picture, are like both our cartoon people, which would sum everything. Mine's a little wizard, like trying to talk to a tree. Like mine's.
Oh, that's
that's your thing? Mine's a little wizard that's like trying to like talk to like space and shit like that, which is where I'm at. I never feel like I'm actually here. Also, I forget that other people can see me, which is like an issue.
Yeah, the Dutch cloak of invisibility. That's what happens when you take too much Xanax.
1000%.
Like you just steal stuff. Did you ever do that? You take Xanax and then you're just in a store and you're like, nobody can see me. Why do I pay for anything? And you start just filling up your arms and then you walk. This happened to me and I'm walking out and I see the clerks just going like standing by the open, like they were waiting for it. Because of course I'm in an empty
and you're acting like a
Safeway,
weirdo.
and I'm like, oh, nobody will know it's me.
No one can see.
And then I'm like, oh, right, that's why I pay for stuff. Is because they're.
I did go into a Walgreens with 4 black comedians, and I walked out with like 3 things without paying with it because I just read. Cool. I just read the situation. No, I just read the situation. I said, literally, no one can see.
Afterwards, you're like, guys, look what I did. And they're like, oh my god, Gina, return that. Like, what? Do you need money? Yo, fam, return that.
Yo, are you broke?
What are you doing?
And shit, what are you doing?
Yo, return that and shit.
So dumb.
Hey, shouty, return that shit.
You know, one of the scariest, the best way I can sum up how scary and stupid my brain is when I'm alone.
Yeah.
Before bed, I always watch like, not even conspiracy theories, but like what like neuroscientists think happens when you die. Like I always watch like holographic universe principles. Like that's what's, if you look at my YouTube late at night, it's just like terrifying. Like you'd be like, oh, this is an insane person.
That was one of the questions too, is like, how much do you care about that stuff? And I was like, not at all.
Oh,
I don't
really?
want to hear theories. Yeah, because they don't know. They
don't
don't know anything. I hate the multiverse theory. I'm sad. I've had it.
String theory?
I've had it. Don't know about that one. I'm more of, I don't like strings in general.
I'm not a big string guy.
Not a big string guy.
Not even silly string?
If it was called silly string theory, maybe more people would listen.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
Silly string theory.
You know what? I think your string theory is pretty silly. So,
have you heard of the 100th monkey theory?
Does it have to do?
I just want to watch you be annoyed.
Does it have to do with monkeys taking mushrooms?
Don't show them the whole thing.
I hate like the stoned ape thing.
Oh,
There's
no,
always,
it's
like
not
people
that.
who listen to Joe Rogan podcast too much are always just like, that's how we evolved. It was mushrooms taking,
monkeys taking mushrooms.
Like,
I think that's Terrence McKenna.
No, it wasn't.
So they observed. So this is also like part of me is like, this might be like spiritual confirmation bias or something, but there was these monkeys and they're like in Japan and they would have those. Have you heard of Japanese sweet potatoes? Much better.
Yeah, so super good. They're
so
purple.
Good. Yeah,
yeah,
purple
they look like my wiener.
So these monkeys were taking them off the beach, and one monkey started washing it in the water to get the sand off, and then it taught other monkeys to do it, and then they realized that they were like passing this down per generation, and it got to around 100 monkeys doing it. And then they talked to other primate observers, and in other parts of the world, they noticed that monkeys that have never done this before just started doing it, which is just, and it's supposed to be like, and it's supposed to like confirm string theory and that we're all connected in some sort of like collective consciousness or something like that. And it can be used in like and if you're crazy, it can be used in a bad way. Like if you want to disturb like the mass psychosis and then makes people start being scared in another part of the world by scaring people in masses.
So wait, so string theory in essence is that everybody's made up of these vibrating molecules. We're all made up of just
vibrating things.
My mom's little bunny.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's made up of, is my mom's supercharged bunny.
Chris.
And that connects us somehow.
So yeah, because nothing is actually connected. When you look in like chemistry, nothing is actually touching anything. So the molecules making up this table None of them are
Right,
connected.
my hand's not touching this table.
Isn't that weird?
But it is. Though.
I know, but on a molecular
But
level,
it is.
it
I
isn't.
feel it. I can disprove every theory. Like they say,
I would love.
We are though, because I can feel it. I got another one for you. They say monkeys. They say if you had.
I would love if you went to a chemistry professor and you're like, nah.
I was like, oh, really? My hand isn't touching this table? Oh, wow.
How about that?
Oh, funny.
Nuh-uh.
Oh, really? I'm going to punch him and then be like, I didn't punch you.
Oh, no, but the molecules aren't touching on a very low level. Also, scary. Ever heard of nanobots? This is the kind of stuff I look up when I'm alone.
Nanobots.
They're a pet you keep in your pocket.
Yeah, nanobot is like it's like a Digimon.
Nanobots are robots that are smaller.
I'm thinking of Beyblades.
I'm thinking of the movie Blade.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Pokemon 2000.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of the movie Babe the Pig. Nanobots are smaller than a bacteria.
Yeah.
And so it blows my mind to think about this. Like that cancer tumor killed by nanobots, you can literally make a robot smaller than a fucking bacteria molecule.
Yeah.
How?
Just really, really small machines. So, but here's the thing.
Smaller than a bacteria.
I'll tell you, as an INTP.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me, logician.
No interest.
That is crazy
Not
to
no
me.
interest in the thing. No interest in understanding exactly how it works. Because, like, I understand. Yeah, I know how they made it. They have something that's able to make really small shit.
Look at that first. Will you click on that first article?
By the way, you just like it because girls love things that are small and cute. You just
It
like
is
smaller
itty-bitty and cute.
versions of stuff.
It weirds me out because I'm like, are these already in me?
This could be a tea set, and you'd be just as interested.
If you're already showing me this information,
Yeah.
are they already in me? That's how I think. If you're already showing me this much, you're releasing this much information on these things, did you already put them in me?
No, I mean, not me, because I never said yes.
You didn't give consent.
I didn't give consent to do that.
It's they can kill infections with these like mini robots that they inject inside of you, which is how'd you make that? How'd you make that?
Can I tell you what I think about multiverse theory?
Yes, please.
So, you're a fan of it? Do you believe in it?
I don't know if I would say I believe in it, but I like the theory. It's interesting.
I feel like it's gotten so popularized because like Rick and Morty
Marvel.
and like Everything Everywhere All at Once and all the Marvel movies. Mostly it's Rick and Morty and Marvel really drove it up. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, we'll like talk about a lot. So all these nerds are like, I love that. Like that's actually the most plausible. But then the same people are also like atheists. So it's like, they're like, oh, really? Like some old guy in the sky? What is that? Like your imaginary friend? Like, no way. What's way more likely is that there's infinite universes, including one in which I'm a Japanese businessman with watermelons for eyes and rollerblades for feet. Because that's what the multiverse theory is.
Yeah, there's like
it's just
infinite
it's
versions
religion
of you.
for retarded nerds.
It's
really
insane.
what it is.
It's literally insane. And like the super base people are like, well, yeah, who created the multiverse? God did.
God.
Yeah. Duh. Like God. Yeah, it's all those things are crazy. I also like looking at released CIA documents. That's also something I read before bed.
Yeah.
My favorite because I was like MK
That's
Ultra.
more interesting to me. Yeah.
You know, it's more fun than MK Ultra is Project Acoustic Kitty. If you can look
what's
up
that? What's Acoustic
Project
Kitty?
Acoustic Kitty, please.
Isn't that's what you call it when guys yell into your pussy?
Yes. Project Acoustic Kitty,
They
please.
hear their echo bouncing off the walls.
You couldn't see under the table. I just spread my legs. That's,
Acoustic Kitty,
They-
a microphone inside the
they
ear.
put
canal.
it and they put an antenna along his spine because they were going to use it to like spy on people. And the very first time they tested this, so they literally made this cat.
The cat did cat shit, didn't it? It did cat stuff.
The cat got hit by a car crossing the street.
Oh, I hope it got the intelligence star.
There was two people sitting on a bench, and the whole the cat was supposed to go over to the bench, and the cat got hit by a fucking car.
Who were we going to use this on?
During that time, I don't know if it was like they were worried about. They're always worried about Russia, right?
But
I don't know.
Russians seem the least likely to let a cat in. It would have had to be like Japan, like a place where they see a kitty.
Yeah,
We're spying on Egypt.
I like that you're Mexican and you went right for Project Bluebeam.
What's this one?
That's the one that they think that because holographs, like they can use a holograph to make it seem like a alien invasion is going to happen to freak everybody out and to make people more easily like controlled.
Oh yeah, like the plot of
Spider-Man
2.
Homecoming.
Yeah,
that's right.
And it's also like it's just like all those things that are like every like big movie that takes over the whole box is always propaganda.
Yeah.
Like it's always like there's always some propaganda
or
snuck
even
in
if
there.
it's not propaganda, it's that there's only so many ideas.
Yeah, and you're
There's
like, where do
only
you
so
think they're
many
getting them
ideas.
from?
Yeah.
Like there's a CIA office in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's
I've
just-
seen Argo.
I haven't seen Argo.
Oh,
No, yeah.
Argo's. I just rewatched it last night.
Oh, wow.
It's
It's
incredible.
Argo.
It's true. It's when there was the 1979 hostage situation in Iran, in which there's a revolution in Iran to replace the Shah that we had put in power so that we could control oil and gas. So they said, we're done with this. We want to have our own dude in charge. And so they stormed the U.S. embassy. And they captured just about everybody there, but 6 people escaped. So these 6 people were living in the Prime Minister of Canada's house. I'm pretty much describing the plot of Argo, but it is also real history.
Yeah.
But I only know it the Argo way. So I only know it as told by Ben
Argo.
Affleck.
Yeah.
So these 6 people were living in the Prime Minister of Canada's house, the Prime Minister, the Canadian ambassador's house in Iran. They were living in Trudeau's house.
They're living in Jordan Peterson's house.
He got along fine because he was in blackface, so they never knew. But so then this dude, Tony something, comes up with a plan where he goes, we have to get these 6 out because right now Jimmy Carter is trying to negotiate the safe homecoming of these 60 or so people who are in the embassy. But we need to get these 6 people out because they've escaped, so they'll be tried and executed as spies for doing that, right? And so he goes, we can't, the only way to get them out is on plane. So we have to create a cover story for him. So he creates a whole office in LA, actually buys the rights to a film, like makes everything look legit. They're in Vanity Fair, and it's for a movie called Argo, which was going to be some like shitty science fiction movie, like a Star Wars spinoff. And then he went to Iran, gave everybody their cover stories. They had to go like do scouting locations and stuff.
This is a real thing?
This is all real. Yeah.
Oh.
He got them out of the house that they were in. They're looking at all of these locations, going into like bazaars with like Iranian officials, and then ended up actually getting them out on a plane as Canadian film people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wild.
And he did receive the Intelligence Star, which is the highest honor that you can receive in the CIA.
Intelligence Star?
Yeah. I hope that cat got it.
I hope that cat got it. Dude, that'd be a fun Pixar movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you were the cat.
Until the end.
Well, the end is like the beginning of a Disney movie, right?
Yes.
Like, what if you're the cat that was like the baby of the Project Acoustic Kitty Cat, and like so you have like CIA stuff all on your walls, and you're like really like look up to like your mom was the Project Acoustic Kitty Cat, and so now you're always like in your head living these missions, but like you're just living in a house, and you're just like the pet cat, but like when the parents leave, you're like, ooh, I have a CIA mission, I got to go listen to things, and so it's like always around, but it's just taking notes on like somebody like doing TikTok dances or something like that.
There's this thing where like a really old CIA agent finally has to like confront the cat and is like, all right, Fig, it's time we tell you where you came from.
Yeah.
And they start showing you, it's like, your mother was one of the top operatives of her time.
Yeah, that's a great, like that
Goddamn
origin story is always my favorite part of a movie.
Yeah.
Ooh, love a good origin story. That's like, ooh, it's the best. I also wrote another Pixar movie in my head.
Go. This is so INTJR of you. The R's for retarded.
So, do you remember when they were retiring the space shuttle and that plane had to fly it around? Get this up. This plane, they were retiring a space shuttle.
Please.
For the love of
please.
God. That's not how we talk to them. I tell you, I'm Italian. So this plane had to fly the retired space shuttle around.
Yeah.
And so in my head, what the Pixar movie is that that's not how you're supposed to flies. God, he wrote Spanish flies. Okay, see this? This is gonna be.
That's how new airplanes are made.
That's the last.
They're just fucking like ladybugs.
That's how UFOs are made.
Wow.
So
We're gonna make a little Cessna.
that's the last scene of the Pixar movie in my head. So the plane and the old NASA spaceship, like the NASA spaceships around, and the plane's like, wow, like I can only go to domestic places. Like I can only stay on this earth. And the space shuttle's like, yeah, you'll never get it, kid. Like you'll never be like me. Yeah. I went out of this world. And he's like just old grizzled, and he like doesn't give a fuck about where the plane goes. He's like, where are you going to go? Florida? Like you can't go anywhere cool. And then the ending of it is that the plane's last mission, and he's really excited about this mission, where it's like the spaceship is like, this is stupid. I don't want to retire this way. Like, this is embarrassing to me that I have to be flown around on this kid's fucking back. Is that they fly around the world, and it's like one of those unlikely duo, situations. And they fly around the world, because that's what they did. They flew around the whole world, and the spaceship finally is like, wow, there was all this beauty right here. And I never thought of these places. I was just always overshooting it. And I just didn't, I looked beyond the trees and didn't see, looked at the forest beyond the trees kind of situation. Yeah, that's the Pixar movie in my head.
Well, I like that. Can Larry Nassar do all the voices? Hey, I need a special exemption for a prisoner of yours. I can't explain why, but I want Larry Nassar to do all the voices.
I just said,
you know who Larry Nassar is? He's the guy who molested all the Olympic gymnasts. Oh. Jesus. I just think he'd be good for this.
He'd be good for the spaceship.
Yeah.
Because the spaceship has like an old...
But I think he'd also be good at being like, yeah, I'm the spaceship. Oh, no, I'm the... Like,
He does both the voices. Yeah,
because he's heard a lot of oh no's from like little...
That was going to be my... Halloween costume with Larry one of my exes one time was I was a gymnast and he was going to be the creepy coach. Isn't that such a good Halloween idea? Especially because he was like a guy that was bald and he had like the handlebar mustache, like because he liked to look like an old boxer, which is stupid. And I'm like, you look like a creepy old gymnastics coach. You don't look like a boxer. So it's like, yo, isn't that so good? Yeah. And now it's just kind of scary because of life.
I forget which comic said this, so I can't credit them. But I was.
You're always doing that. You're like, I forgot who said this, so I just say it.
Yeah. I forget who said it. No, but it was a bit of theirs. But it was. They were talking about during the trial, if you remember, one of the girls' dad stood up and was just like, "Yeah, Your Honor, could I just get 5 minutes alone in a room with him?" And of course, everybody applauded. Everybody like lost their minds because that's the easiest way to win points. It's like saying I support our troops is to be like, if I ever met a molester, I'd tie him up to a chair. It's like, yeah, we all say we feel that way. Wait till you molest, then suddenly you're gonna want some leniency. It's like the thing where
until
the judge,
you know what happens to you.
The judge goes like, Spencer, what do you think we should do with Larry Nassar? I'm like, let him go.
This is your Pixar movie?
Let him go. I think it's, it's a slap
boys
on the
will be boys.
No. So this comedian though, his take was he goes which is on admirable. Of course he wants to have 5 minutes alone with this with Larry Nassar. You definitely have to win that fight though, right? You can't come out with like a bloody nose and you're all scruffled up and you're like, okay, Your Honor.
I can see how he did this.
5 more minutes. And 3 of my boys got to come with me. Like, you can't get your ass beat by the guy who molested your daughter.
That's so funny. And also, I love how much you know about this trial, which I didn't know that guy's name either. I had no idea what you were talking about. When you said, can Larry Nassar do the voices? I was thinking of Larry David. And I was like, Larry David would be a great spaceship. I also that you're like, I don't know if you remember this part of the trial. Like, no, dude.
I follow the trials that matter to me.
Like, yeah, you're like, none of this Hollywood stuff.
I don't follow Johnny Depp, Amber Heard.
I didn't watch any of that.
Well, I would try to tune in, but it was always just bananas to me because it's like civil court. Civil court's wild because you can just pull in, like you're used to thinking of court as like, oh, a witness is somebody who saw the crime, right? Or like has some anecdotal evidence. But in civil court, like I would try to tune in to the trial, and it would just be like Johnny Depp's dentist, on the stand, and they're just like, does he floss every night? It's like, how is this important? Then the judge will be like, I'll allow it.
Go on. This is silly
Answer the
stuff.
question, Johnny. Like, it's like, why is any of this important? Just some guy talking about like how he sold Johnny art in 2011.
They're all just characters. It's like his barber. It's like
Yeah.
a guy with big old mustache. He's like, yes, I remember
They're
that.
all played by Johnny Depp. He's every witness. Just wearing a different type of tuxedo and glasses.
They're like, oh, and this pirate that knew Johnny Depp. They're like, where's Johnny?
Everybody on the witness stand is like an Oompa Loompa, a pirate. Somehow it just is animated Jack Skellington. Like, in the defense, I guess it's not defense. I don't know what even he is, but
no, he's just there, man.
Just Tim Burton.
Tim Burton
is coming to testify. Amber's like, really? I mean, he beat me. Yeah. He beat me. It's just like, here comes Halloween. Here comes, and the whole fucking jury is just clapping along.
God.
Kangaroo court. Kangaroo court.
That'd be fun. Could you be a judge?
Yeah.
Would that be like a wet dream of yours?
Yeah. I've talked about this before. I don't want to hear any evidence. I'm going to base just about everything off of how the person was dressed when they were arrested.
Oh, you're such a piece of shit.
I feel like I can just no, I don't mean that. Oh, if they're poor, they go to prison. You can just.
Oh, when they were arrested, I thought you meant when they showed up to court that you were like,
no.
nice suit.
Oh yeah, well, no. But I will say this: when people have to show up in court and they're wearing their prison costume,
their costume,
their prison wear. I'm like, I mean, you're literally dressed like a bad guy.
Yeah, it's very hard to disrupt
guilty.
that. You're like, based on every movie I've seen.
No, but just give me like 5 minutes. Just like, I'll just go for 5 minutes and then I'll be like, okay, done. Death penalty. I mean, he's like, wait, I'm just here for a child support discrepancy. I'm like, I know. It has nothing to do with that.
If you had to sentence somebody to a death penalty, which one would you do?
Which death penalty? Mm-hmm. Dude, just give me 5 minutes in a room with him.
Need these hands. I don't know if you heard I'm a G.
It's the longest. Like, death is supposed to be quick and effective. He's just like, yeah, I guess.
He just keeps pinching him.
The honorable Spencer Cavins just like slapped him for 7.5 hours.
He tried to tickle him to death.
Wow, he slapped him to death. He actually died of hunger. He was just, Spencer was slapping him for
actually,
so long.
the guy was diabetic. He couldn't get his insulin.
What if when that dad was like, just give me 5 minutes alone with him, and they did.
And they made out.
And then they come and open it, and they're just having sex. They go in and the dad's just whispering in his ear, just like, I want to taste you.
I got headphones on. You can't whisper that.
God, every time you talk, I realize how creepy you are. Like, and it's so funny that my friends that don't know you, that like, I guarantee you, like if I post that, like, oh, I did a podcast with Spencer, like my friends from New York will be like, oh, he's so handsome. I'm like, he's disgusting. He is a booger person.
They open the door and the dad just fucking in his ear, and it's just like a handful of cash he throws. Just like 5 more minutes.
Like, he's made out of mucus. Like if I were to make a cartoon of you, you would have mucus dripping from you all the time.
Oh, really? That wouldn't be a space shuttle?
You were not
a cool space shuttle.
No, you wouldn't get fucking. You think you're the star of a Pixar movie?
Yeah.
No.
Well, can I be the villain at least?
No, you're like the guy pumping the gas in like a B-reel, dude.
We all are that, though. We all are that. Yeah.
That's multiverse theory,
Everybody thinks, no, it's not. It's just nobody's that special. Everybody thinks that in a zombie movie,
very special.
They're the one who's like leading everybody. But
and you're like, no, dude, you can't even run a 5K.
You're a zombie without legs, just crawling around.
Yeah. But more importantly, you're made out of mucus. Yeah. And you're like default. Do you know what the Kubrick stare is? Because that's like your default. Please bring up the Kubrick stare. It's in Stanley Kubrick's movies to make somebody look more devious. They put their head down and they look up through their eyes.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your default. That's you.
So you think I'm the Kubrick stare? I think I'm a different
covered
type
in
of
mucus.
Stare. Will you pull up the MC Escher stares? Because that's what I think I am.
Let's get one of these big though. Get that first one.
Oh yeah.
With all of them. Yeah, that's you. That's your personality right there. That's you.
Why?
Just if somebody sneezed on the screen.
Why are you serious? I like the idea of somebody's really into the Joker, but like messes it up. But they're obsessed with the Joker. They're just like, they dress up, they buy all the expensive costumes. They're so excited. It's Halloween. They get to dress up as the Joker. They're just like, why are you serious? Some men just want to see the world be bad.
Like, why is it so funny that you do something slightly wrong and it's so funny? Like,
Here, let me show you a magic trick. I'm going to make this pencil go away.
anybody obsessed with the Joker is just such a turd.
Yeah.
Like, you're just such a dildo. It's so insane.
Josh is covering up his Joker tattoo right now. He's like, no, totally.
He's like, wow, that's so lame. That's so lame. God. What was the other stare that you were talking about?
I was being an asshole. I was talking about the MC Escher stairs that just keep going into themselves.
Oh.
So I'm such a mind fuck.
Yeah,
I'm a mind freak.
Spencer Kevin's mind freak.
It's my show, Spencer Gavin's Mind Freak, but then it's just me telling gay jokes on stage. It's not even good.
That's your new show at Barrels and Amps. Hey, Dean, we got to change the name from Barrels and Amps to Spencer Kevin's Mind Freaks.
There's like smoke and pyrotechnics, and I come out just like, your own personal Jesus, reach out and touch me. And then I'm like, shoo, and it stops, and I come out of the smoke, and then I'm just like,
you guys
ever seen a guy who's so hot? You're like, I might, you know? Oh, I should not have smoked weed before this.
Oh my God, I saw you guys, I'm on mushrooms. You just come out super hacky shit.
Yeah.
God, every time I try to like think of, do you have like some crowd work in your back pocket? Mm-hmm. Do you know I never thought to do that? And that's why my brain just skips every time somebody shouts something. I got nothing. And it makes me stop.
I don't have that. But
So,
you mean a heckle response. I don't
yeah.
have that.
That's what, anytime I try to think of anything that's crowd work, I just sound like Rodney Dangerfield in my head.
Wait, you just go, I get no respect. But again, you do it wrong, so you're just like, I'm always getting disrespected.
Always doing that. It's crazy. No, because there was like some people that were like polyamorous, and this is I've had a threesome once, but it reminded me of the movie Requiem for a Dream.
Do you go on or not?
Yeah. I only needed to see it once, and the double-ended dildo was just a little too much.
That's a good reason.
Can't you picture? It's better if it's in Rodney Dangerfield.
But you say it like that because it's like your panic default.
Yeah, my panic default is Rodney Dangerfield. That's me and all my feminine energy.
I like to just shout at them and remind them that I've worked really hard on this. You know when comics do that? When there's like a heckle and they're just like, dude, can I just do my jokes? Like, Jesus Christ. It's just like, now you just fucked up the whole thing. That's always my favorite.
And I like when they start over.
Like, okay, so as I was saying. All right, so pedophiles are, the thing about pedophiles are.
Something super cringy. So I was fucking my girlfriend in the ass the other day. And you're like, bro. Like, yeah, it's always something super gross.
No.
But they're like a kid at like a birthday party. Like, it's like that kid's birthday party you didn't really want to go to, but you got to watch him just be.
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie Clifford?
I didn't need to watch the movie. I read the books.
Not the dog.
Oh.
Clifford with movie Martin Short. Did you ever watch this?
No.
Very funny. And I don't remember. I just remember Clifford was very mischievous. Like, look at his stupid head. Very funny. I watched it all the time when I was younger. He was just absurd. It's like very old school, like very 90s.
Wait, but is he a stand-up comedian?
No, he's just a child. He's a child in it.
See.
He's just like a mischievous, weird child. But that's what I always think of when stand-up.
Clifford, the gay little creep. Before there was Clifford, the big red dog.
There was
Clifford, the gay little creep. Starring Martin Short.
There's always that same voice.
Yeah, totally. Look at that photo.
Yeah,
He's just holding a little green penis.
It's so absurd. It's one of those movies that it was like it never got huge, but it's so funny because it never got huge. I used to always love. I watched this and like Clue. I'm trying to think of what else. What were your like comedy favorite movies when you were a kid? Like who were your people?
Dances with Wolves.
I was very inspired by
the
Dances
character
with Wolves.
Timmons a lot. I truly, one of my favorite things
Is
was
Dances with Wolves?
No. There's a scene in Dances with Wolves where like Kevin Costner is obviously like this very austere dude who's like given up his life in the war. I think he was like a Civil War hero, and he just wants to just go live amongst Indians. He wants to study abroad for a year amongst the Indians.
Hey.
And he's always sitting there journaling. And Timmons is just like this really foul, kind of like drinking, simple man. But he's just going to get him over to this base in Indian country or near it. And they're sitting around a fire, and Timmons is eating pickled eggs. And Timmons is like Dean, pretty much. And then, And then they're sitting around the fire, and he farts, and he just goes, "Put that in your book." It's just such a funny line to me. Yeah. My family, we've said that for generations now. Oh, generations. When we fart, we say, "Put that in your book."
That's good. That's good. What was that other?
Also, Freddie got fingered.
I'm very inspired by Dances with Wolves and Freddie Got Fingered.
Yeah, those are my two comedic influences.
God, what was that one? And it was like the something in the darkness, and it was with like the lion.
Oh yeah,
the ghost in the darkness. Is that what it is? I just remember like it was like over my head. I was like 6 or 7 years old.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Darkness.
Yeah,
Ghost in the Darkness.
This seems like something you would like.
Yeah, I you know what? I actually watched it recently. I'd never seen it.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, I watched it recently.
I watched it when it first came out. I must have been like 6 or 7 years old, and I was like, "This is over." Like, what happens in this? I was just like, "I like lions."
I mean, they get him.
They get. Is it like a big? Is it like a metaphor?
I don't know. I think it's just a true story that lions will eat people.
Oh,
I mean, I think
like that's it.
Simple.
It's not.
No allegory there. Just
there's no. Is there a romantic interest in this movie? Or is it just two dudes shooting lions?
I think it's just that.
Oh, that's cool. Good for them.
I think it's just two guys shooting lions and then just tons of Africans.
Val Kilmer was a babe back in the day. Ever see that movie where he's blind?
No.
It's just Val Kilmer's just like a blind guy, and they just make it into like it's such a big deal that someone dates a blind person is like the whole premise of the movie.
Like, is that somebody can be with a blind person?
Yeah, it's like that's like the whole Like, and at one point they're like dating, and she tries to be nice and like clean up his cabin, and she moves the table, and he like walks into it, and it's like very dramatic. Trying to make that like part of the story arc.
I do like when I don't think they do it so much now, but when they just make like blind people just seem retarded, like they're missing more than just their eyes.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a thing where she like puts the shotgun where the broom used to be, and he's like,
"Oh no!
Oh my god! I thought it was. This is where the broom is usually."
God. So yeah, it was literally just like, wow. Can you believe?
You know what's sad is they had to do. They had to use a technology to create his voice for the new Top Gun because he has throat cancer.
Who?
So he can't talk. Val Kilmer. Yeah. So they use one of, you know how algorithms can just pick up and create your voice now?
Like that, what they do with like all the Biden videos because he's dead.
Yeah, that's what they do with Biden. One day we'll do that with anything that we want Larry Nassar in.
Yeah, that's actually why I'm recording this, is so I have like a baseline of your voice. Yeah. And it's funny because I don't have to change anything because you've mentioned pedophilia so many times.
Perfect.
You've just given me.
It down.
You've given me all I've needed now.
I've given you life.
No, yeah, it's weird how much you're into making creepy jokes about pedophilia, my friend.
Is it weird?
No, you know what?
I blame the culture.
You know, it's just a circumvent back to Disney.
I do love to watch
cartoon porn.
No, but you know what? Oh, actually, you know, I have a fun. How much time do we have?
Here, an hour 33.
33. Okay. All right.
We'll wrap it up after your porn.
Okay. So
It's up to
I want to
you.
tell a fun and practical Joker story. Okay. It also has to do with porn, though.
Sick.
How amazing that you knew that.
Ooh.
So I was watching a video, and I'm going to point out, I did not search for this video. It was just one of the first ones that people looked attractive when I went on Pornhub, so I clicked on it. Okay? The plot of this video did not factor into my selection. I fast forward to the part where they're fucking. Anyways, I finished, and then just for fun, and I never do this, I decided to look through the comment section, and there's one
probably
from
silly.
There's one from Joe Gatto. Like the username was Joe Gatto, like the original Impractical Joker, Joe Gatto. And it just said, Larry, which you wouldn't know, but that's part of the intro. To anyone who watches is going to think I'm way too into it. I don't really watch Impractical Jokers that much, but my sister and I would watch it sometimes. And so I thought that was a very funny comment to make, is the thing that Joe Gatto shouts in the theme, the main
It's like somebody saying Baba Booey.
Yeah, I suppose. It's something along those lines. So I screenshotted it and sent it to my sister, and I was like, hey, I know, weird that I'm sending you this screenshot, but I couldn't help myself. Look at the comment section. So she laughs and laughs and laughs, and then I later go back to look at the thumbnail, and I see that you can still see the tab, because I screenshotted my whole thing.
Yeah.
And the tab shows the title of the video, and the title of the video is Brother Cream Pie's Little Sister. So now I'm faced with the decision.
Kind of weird that I sent this to you,
I'm
little
faced with the
sis.
decision of, do I bring it up to her and be like, oh my God, by the way, I don't search for that. It was just a video, but then now it draws her attention to it, or do I just not say anything and then just
Does
hope she
her
never
like
saw it?
fiance want to murder you?
No. So I brought it up to her like a year later, and she goes like, oh, I never noticed that. Also, so gross.
Yeah. Also gross.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I never needed to mention it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you didn't. Ew, what a
Yeah.
cringy situation
Horrible,
you put yourself
horrible.
in it.
Yeah.
Ew.
I panicked
God.
for like 4 days about it and then forgot.
I've never. You know what? Well, I've actually never been on Pornhub.
Mm.
So that's why I was like, I know what you're talking about with tabs. I've been around the block.
You know what a tab is.
I know what a tab is, but I've never been in a situation like that where I've been like, hey, bro, look at this. And
Well, that'd be so weird considering you don't talk to your brother.
Hey,
what a weird way to break 8 years of silence. Hey, bro.
hey, here's something cool. He liked my tweet the other day,
Yeah. Oh, did he?
but I also texted him 3 weeks prior and said, I'm going to be in Boston.
And he didn't respond?
Nope.
Yeah.
And then a week later, he liked my tweet.
Just send him some porn you're watching. Bet he responds.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're obviously way too close with your family, so
I am.
I could learn some things.
By the way, same scenario, but I sent it to my dad. Thumbnail, dad fucks son. I was like, oh my God. This
You're
is,
like, this just keeps happening.
am I the problem?
That's a fun way. Wait, what do you have tonight?
Nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
You're
mean,
doing Catatonia.
hey, that's what, sometimes I think would be very cathartic and also a Pixar movie. It's because my brother's name is Tony. If I made Tony Hinchcliffe be my brother. That's
Just
it.
make him be your brother?
Yeah. Like if I go and kill Tony and I'm like, hey, like I wrote these jokes, but like really.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. But
And
really.
I bet Tony Hinchcliffe would be such a good sport about that.
He'd be such a good brother.
He'd be like, if this is going to help you
Yeah.
process something, then please, by all means.
Absolutely. He's big on that.
Absolutely. That's what he does.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely. Gina Hyena, absolutely.
Yeah. So if I said, Tony Hinchcliffe, will you be my brother?
Absolutely. I mean, wow. Incredible. He just
That'd
says
be great.
he says it like after a bomb too. It's like somebody just bombed for a minute. It's
Fuck
like,
yeah.
incredible. Fuck yeah.
I just bomb
Russell
asking you.
Spitzer. Wow, amazing. I'm gay. No.
Yeah, no, Tony Hinchcliffe's going to be my new brother. And then I'm going to send him porn clips of
Yeah.
brothers fucking sisters. And that's
Please do.
my Pixar movie.
Yeah.
What's your Pixar movie? You marrying your sister?
Why we've established Larry Nassar will do all the voices. Just the Larry Nassar story, I think.
It's just you.
Just the Larry Nassar story.
It's just,
I play Larry Nassar, but Larry Nassar does the voices for all the women, all the girls.
oh, no. No, please.
He keeps saying just like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I love that. And I'm like, Larry,
That's not
say
how
it like
happened.
it really happened. Read the script. It says, no, please stop.
It'd be
Can
cool.
you say-
It'd be cool if you had Adam Sandler do all the voices and he did like the goat. Hey, come here, just a minute, please. I just want to see you.
Trying to fuck you. You want some cock? These fucking weird SNL voices of Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler is.
Larry Nassar.
I couldn't make it as an Olympic coach, but now I'm just this girls' gymnastic coach. He has a love interest that's like a teacher at the school.
Uncut cock.
Straight for cock. All right, should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
All right. You seem like the other word I had written down here that we didn't touch upon was haberdashery. Do you know?
You have something for that?
Do you know what a haberdashery is?
That's where you go get like nice suits and
It's
stuff.
where you get a hat fixed.
Yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say about Austin. The guys in Austin seem like they have like a favorite haberdashery.
Yeah.
Right.
They do, but it's also a chain.
It's a chain. It is actually. I think there's one. It's like Gorin Brothers on like South Congress.
Well, I know the logo. Yeah.
And there's probably a like a taco truck in the back. Probably, it's like I got this felt hat.
Get margaritas in a hat.
Right. God, fuck this place. All right. Also, that it's weird that like how we were talking about how we were kids and I wore Obey when I was kids and I was really into like emo stuff, and then you realize that like Blink-182, I was super into when I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look back and you're like, oh, they were in their 30s. And then you're like,
Making
your
songs
mom's
about, like,
but
and when I met you after class, and it's like, when did they get canceled? I wore Obey, but it was different. It was like it was called Obey Larry Nassar.
I wore Obey, and it just said, do what you're told.
Instead of Obey propaganda, it was just Obey Larry Nassar. Is that? Did you guys all wear that?
Cancel children's voices.
You guys listen to Blink-182? I used to listen to this band called Blink Once and Larry Nassar Will Be Inside You. Did you guys ever listen to that?
How horrible. Also, I just love the fact that you know this guy's name and so much about him.
You know what's funny? I didn't know I knew this much about him. I don't even know that I know much about him so much as I just keep saying his name.
Yeah, I know. It's really getting to me.
Anyway, we'll watch the Larry Nassar story tonight.
Cool. That sounds like what we're going to do. Okay, I'm Gina Hyena. This has been So Much to Say podcast. Dave Matthews fans.
It's not what it's called.
Yeah, what's it called?
I'm a G. Thanks for listening.
All right, cool.